Ladies and gentlemen, this is one guest right here. I really don't have to do an intro for. I really don't. I really. I told him already that I am based. I'm starstruck right now. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome Kosine to the car chat.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. It is such a pleasure. This says
Go.
Veronica, but in Spanish we say Veronica.
Yes, I love it when
Yes,
they say it in Spanish. It sounds so much better
yes,
when they say it in Spanish.
Veronica.
I always tell them because I took some Spanish in college and high school, so I
Uh-huh.
could learn more about the culture, and
Mm-hmm.
because I grew up around Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, and
Okay.
so I wanted to know more about them because we were just sheltered to the African Americans, and that's it. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's all these cultures around me. So when I found out that they how they pronounce my name, I I
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with it.
Yeah, Veronica.
Yeah, that's how they
And
say it.
my mother is
Hmm.
originally from Panama. Uh,
Oh, really?
and Panama just beat up on the United States. I was DJing a party for the
Hmm.
United States, their soccer, like their fan club,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm in my heart, I'm like, dang, but my mama from Panama, so this really a win-win situation for me today. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And my
yeah.
dad is from Guatemala, so I'm a hundred
Ooh,
percent. I'm 100%
that's where that
Veronica.
flavor is coming from. Because when I
Yeah,
see
my
you on stage performing, I'm like he look like a black man, but I don't see that. I don't see your energy is totally different. It's totally
Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah, yes. My whole government name is Marcos Enrique Palacios. Es todo me llamo. You know what I
Ah,
mean? Yeah, so it's like that.
okay. So how did you come up with? I mean, from there, how do you come up with the name cosine?
Well, cosine is looking at my TI 83 graphing calculator in
Mm,
trigonometry,
what?
and I saw the last three letters. I saw the last three letters of my name on the calculator. It said COS, cos. And I
Mm-hmm.
learned that cos was short for cosine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
a part of a formula. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm a part of a formula, right? You take
Yeah.
cosine times an artist or times a studio times some instruments equals a
Mm-hmm.
timeless piece of music.
And you're good at it too. Doggone it, you. I mean, you have the credits and the credentials up under your belt. I mean, from I was just looking at it. I said I didn't know. Like for an example, Kelly Rowland's song "Coffee,"
Come on.
as we would say from because I'm originally from New York City. We'll say "coffee." I said
Coffee.
he did that. I
Mm.
know that is the song.
And
I had no idea.
you gotta see the video though.
I did. Yeah, I did.
That video that Kelly, I remember when she called me from there, she was shooting it. She's like, I got to go to the Caribbean and shoot the video.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's what's humbling for me, right? We go in the studio, we make this art, and then the artist feels inspired to go shoot visuals and bring the song to life in
Mm-hmm.
ways that I could, only imagine. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm experiencing now being an artist myself, right? I just released a song today with BJ the Chicago Kid called
Mm-hmm.
Will You Pray? And
I
I
listened
have
to it.
to,
I
you know
did.
what I mean?
I listened to it. I was like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
He don't flip the script. I was
Mm-hmm.
expecting something different. I like it. I liked it
Mm-hmm.
too. I tagged you on Instagram because I
Okay.
said so everybody I shared it so everybody can kind of listen to it. Like just listen to this. There's something totally different than what he would normally do. And it's like with you and the other artists, it's like a story. Giving us a
Mm-hmm.
glimpse of your background and the point that you're at right now.
Mm-hmm. 1,000%.
Hmm.
Earlier this year, who expected for LA to be burning down the way it was? Who expected that? Who expected that level of tragedy
Hmm.
and hardship?
Mhm.
for for this community. And that's why the timing of that song, that song is years old, years old. I gotta look on my file to see how old it is.
Mhm.
But you know I like, it's our job as artists to reflect the times. Right now is the
Mhm.
time where I really needed to pose that question, will you pray? Because look at the state of the world right now.
Oh
Look at it.
God. I
You
look
know,
at America.
come on,
Like
look where we
it
at.
doesn't even seem like America anymore. I'm like,
Come on.
especially for people of color. It's like you know, you wonder is the other cultures technically, do they feel compelled to start acting up again, or can I treat them any kind of way because of that? I hope not. I certainly hope not.
Well, I'm going a little bit deeper than color, right?
Mhm.
People of faith.
Mhm.
People of faith, there's a unity there
Mhm.
for those who believe
Mhm.
that, God is in control and he has us. So there's a
Yes.
level of healing and peace that's in the music now that's different. When you say there's something different, the difference is the healing and the peace.
Mhm.
The second verse of Will You Pray, I finally, talk about mom,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
And that's asking a lot because that's the most important. Like, my mom, God sent me an angel for a mother,
Mhm.
and that's a subject that I would rather just stay away from because she means everything to me and she is the reason why I am who I am today.
Mhm.
But as a songwriter and an artist, the people, that's all we want to hear. We don't want
Yeah.
to hear the fluff. The people, they're tired of the fluff. We want to hear something
Yes.
real. We want to feel something real when
Mhm.
we hear your music.
You're right. Mhm. Yeah,
So I have to
something
go, I have to go there.
that will that touch the heart, pierce the soul.
Yep.
You know, something of value. Like a lot of times, I know you hear a lot of people talk about the '90s music
Mm-hmm.
and how it was and what you know. That's what people are looking for now. I feel more now than before. So I kind of feel that's well. But first, because I want to ask you, I know you released that new song. Do you feel there's a shift in the industry, the music industry?
I respectfully, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you speak with a little bit too much confidence, they want to hit you with narcissist and
Mm-hmm.
all of the craziness. So respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
Veronica, respectfully, Veronica, um, I am the shift.
Mm-hmm.
Just I am the shift.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a creator, it's a responsibility. Imagine if Stevie Wonder just didn't go in the studio and say, "Isn't she lovely?" Imagine if he didn't go in there and say, "I just call to say
Mm-hmm.
I love." Imagine if he didn't, if he was not responsible.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
as a creator, as somebody that's in charge of making what people call the best music, I'm just doing what I do
Mm-hmm.
right at the right time. You
Yeah,
know,
because
and,
it's needed.
and it's on us to share. We see this video, we see this clip, we see this interview. It's on us to just take 20 seconds, 30 seconds, run over to Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, and send Will You Pray, co-sign the artist, send it to your best friend. Just start right there. The person that means the most to you. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
we've been looking for a new artist. We've been looking for a new show to come to. We've been looking for new videos to watch. Here he is. Here he is.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
he made Anaconda and he made Rihanna birthday cake. And he worked with Nas. He worked with Big
Mm-hmm.
Sean. He worked with like, it's not even like we gotta be worried about, you know, is this someone credible that's gonna give
Right.
us what we need? I grew up in the 90s, right? You just said the
Mm-hmm.
90s is the best music. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
over here trying. I'm just walking in my purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the powerful part, especially, what you say in the 90s and timing, right? Like a lot of great people, they're great because of the era that they
Mm-hmm.
came up in. As we are different ages, and a lot of the information that I give is intergenerational.
It is.
But
Right.
if you wasn't walking the earth in your teenage years during the 90s,
You don't know.
you just wasn't there. You just
You don't,
wasn't there.
you
You
don't know.
weren't there.
Right.
And look, I feel that way about the 70s. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like,
Absolutely. I wasn't here. I was.
man, but that music,
Oh yeah.
that music,
Yes. I love the old school now. You can't touch them.
come
You
on
can't.
now.
You
And
can't
then
mess.
for me being, Afro Latino, I'm still getting, you know, reggaeton. I'm still getting
Hmm.
salsa. I'm still getting reggae. I'm still getting um I was dancing in conjunto típico. There would be,
Hmm.
I want to go play baseball, basketball with my mom like, nah, you got to go do the conjunto típico. What, mama? What? But it's like you gonna get this Panamanian culture. You're not gonna
Exactly.
grow up as an uncultured child.
That's what she was
And
doing. Right.
yeah,
Hmm.
just and I'm so grateful, because it's the universal past, right? Like music is a universal language.
Hmm.
There's people, when you see that number one song and then you see it in all those countries that you may not even make it to this lifetime, but
Right.
they know your music there. And they
Right.
know the words and they don't speak English. Veronica.
Right. Because when an artist shares it on their social media platform, and you see that crowd going wild, just like they would in America, and they repeating the lyrics. I understand it in English, but that's a totally different country. So I have seen it many times with the artists. You like, how do they even know how to, know that kind of music? How they even you just don't know. You just don't know
Well,
how far it's reaching.
yes, I mean, some of these artists, they're bigger outside of US. Some of these artists, the,
Mm-hmm.
the majority of their bread and butter, they tour overseas,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Right.
Um, and it's just that level of appreciation. We walk around, especially being here in Los Angeles, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can just drive over to Chris Brown's house and go play saxophone. I'm playing saxophone on Sensational, right? But that's a, 40-minute drive over to Chris Brown's house, bring your
Mm-hmm.
saxophone, and boom,
Hmm.
sensational. You gone. You gone. But I mean, these countries that are 14, 18, 20 hours, 24 hours away, you know, and on top of that, we don't know Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
those clips of him doing his show in Africa, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Right. Africa, people don't sleep on Africa. People be
You
trying to
can't.
sleep on Africa, and is nothing to sleep on. They're not
Well,
behind.
that's our first order of business then, the cosign show that we go do in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the cool part about being still a new artist. Now I got to get all the new perks. You know what I'm saying? Just because I got platinum hits and billions of streams and views as a music producer, no, you still got to treat me like a new artist. So I got to go to Africa and do my first show with, you know what I'm saying, the Car Chat series. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Veronica, maybe you hosting or something, but it's time. You know
I'm
what I'm
trying.
saying?
Look, I'm trying. This is my my humble beginning. That's why I said when I get co-sign on my show. Oh Lord,
No,
this
we passed humble beginnings now. Once you get cosign on your show,
look.
now you at the top. Now you're at the top. I'm sorry.
Technically,
You
yes,
know.
yes, but I try to stay humble with it though. That's why I said it. I want to be like, oh, I don't want to kind of reach. You know what I'm saying? I like to kind of take things like one day
Well,
at a time.
it's a two-part thing, right? Because you definitely want to stay humble. You know what I
Mhm.
mean, and keep that posture, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, you don't want to undervalue yourself. And I think that that's always been a big trick with us as a community, being
Yeah.
tricked into undervaluing ourselves so that we don't even ask for more. We don't even ask. It doesn't even cross our
Right.
mind that we deserve more.
Mhm.
That's why
That's true.
my my song Kings with Idris Elba. Just
Mm-hmm.
a nice friendly reminder. And I wrote that after the George Floyd situation. It broke my
Mm-hmm.
heart. And I'm thinking about my sons, and I'm thinking about the legacy that I'm leaving in the music. We got to write a song called Kings. Kings are falling every day, and kings are rising just the same. But when will we know who we are? I see
Mm-hmm.
your light. You are my star.
Right.
Blessed are those who make it home to know that you're never alone and know that it's okay to cry. Can't get no better in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Veronica.
That sounds like a. I know it's to your song, but that is that lyric right there should be stapled also as a poem.
Come
Like
on.
put that on a plaque.
Come on.
Like seriously. And I noticed too that when you go to Chicago, your hometown, you're pouring back
Got to.
into that next generation. It's
Got
like
to.
you're not just talking with words. You're in the community and you're trying to raise up a set of kings and queens.
Of course, but think about this though, right? Before I had any hits, I was a college professor. So my
Mm-hmm.
story is unique in the sense of, you know, a lot of kids go to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some graduate, but very few are hired by the school to teach the very next semester at 23 years old. That's
Very
my story.
few. That's right. That rarely happens.
That's my story. They immediately start paying me back. I'm taking my salary and just putting it towards my student loan. You know what I'm saying? Like, here y'all go.
Wow.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Give it back. Give it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even the relationships that I made with the professors there. Um, a young lady by the name of Beth. Uh, she was Beth Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
and she was my public speaking teacher in school. She helped me write my TED Talk and invited me back to do a TED Talk 10 years later. And now I'm about to receive a Doctor of the Arts from my school. And she will be the one introducing me to get this award to speak 19 years later.
What? Well, you
Um,
go ahead.
You know what
Nice,
I'm saying?
Doctor Kosine.
Doctor of the Art. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do this. I do it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, where you in the honeycomb hideout.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up to be a professional only child. And this new business model of entrepreneurship must be shared with the people. Must be shared with the people. You
I
know,
like that. Yeah, that's one thing I believe you are attracted to so many people is your heart and you're authentic. It's like you're giving back. You're not selfish. You're like, let me teach you what God has gifted me. You're not. It's like you're not intimidated as another
my
person may rise up.
let me tell you something. My mom, she's cooking dinner. It's the two of us that live together. She cooking
Mm-hmm.
for 5, 6 people
Mm-hmm.
because maybe Uncle Rudy gonna stop by. Maybe Auntie Pond gonna stop by. Maybe Auntie Linda gonna stop. Somebody might need a meal.
Mm-hmm.
So you always thinking about somebody else giving, preparing more, giving more. That's just generosity.
Mm-hmm.
And you got rules, but then you have laws, right? That generosity, that mindfulness of I'm a servant. As a producer, you're a servant. You're not the star. I if it's one thing I know is about being in a room with superstars and some of the greatest of all time and knowing how
Mm-hmm.
to serve. Knowing how to
Right.
serve. But what happened is I got to a place of what do I like? What do I care about? I don't know my voice anymore because it's always been about other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel
I
something
see.
burning on my heart. I feel like I got something to say. So I got to just step away for a little bit. And the convenient part about that is I had went broke around the same time, right? So I want to be an
Mm-hmm.
artist and I need to separate. And I'm not being a good steward over the blessings that God gave me. So now you need to move back to Chicago and be with your auntie and your family and start over anyway because you
Mm-hmm.
wilding out and it's time for you to go to the next level. Now, during that
Mm-hmm.
season, I didn't know that. So, I'm crying, I'm depressed. I feel
Right.
like I fell off. But,
Right. It doesn't seem like it when you start when that shift comes and you feel that tugging at you. It doesn't seem like okay, I'm getting ready to walk into something different. It's more like what's going on. So I totally understand what you're talking
Well,
about.
I believe, and I've just started to be be kinder to myself, but I was very hard on myself,
Mm-hmm.
and for good reason. You know what I mean? That's how my family was, right? It's not a free ride thing, and I knew I could do better. I knew I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't giving my best. And that's an
Mm-hmm.
internal question. You know what your best is. You know what a 10 out of 10 is. I knew I wasn't doing my best, you know? And so the results that I was receiving from life made sense because I could see where I was slacking, where I was, BSing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and, you know, when you're chosen to a life of excellence and you will be held
That's
to
right.
that standard. When you know better, you got to do better.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, because you're gonna be held accountable.
it's a fight, and I'm still a work in progress. Still a work in progress. I'm coming from that good west side of Chicago, man. Maywood, Broadview. That's a city right there where, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We different in the Midwest.
yeah. But now when you went to LA, you got around that life. That
I
life
got
that
around that
so
light.
many people wanted to get in.
They got me. They got me. They got me. Chewed me up, spit me right out on the ground. They got me.
What? Oh
They
Lord.
LA, the whatever the Hollywood sauce, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
was,
The
is
Hollywood sauce.
the vapors, whatever it is, because it was like everything was a yes. I couldn't miss every song, every artist, you name them. You can look at the list. I
Mm-hmm.
have over 200 some songs. Look at the
You do.
list.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they all was pulling up. All the executives, A&R, they pulling up, and we
Mm-hmm.
cooking. We cooking. Um, but still, you got to deal with your trauma, man. You got to heal internally. I still was a boy who was missing his mama.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then, one of my artists, he passed away, Aaron Michael Cox, and his mother just recently passed. So,
Mm-hmm.
condolences to Mama Laura Cox. But Columbia Records was about to sign him after Adele. They were calling him the male Adele. So imagine that, right? You got all these
Oh.
number one hits. Now you find this kid from Ohio. The first session he does is with John Legend, who's also from Ohio. And the
Oh
chemistry
Lord.
is crazy. He's in college. Everything is just
Mm.
flowing perfectly. And then he passes away of testicular cancer. What am I supposed to do with that, Veronica?
Yeah, pray. Just like you
Will you pray?
pray. That's all you can like what just happened? Ooh,
My
that felt like that was for me. If that was me, it would feel like a punch right in my stomach. Like something will I will feel like something was snatched from me. Then so I understand where you're coming from. It will take me a little bit to realize, like, wait a minute, God, what are you telling me?
What are you
Mm,
telling me? Because I'm
right,
having extremely high highs and
right.
extremely low lows,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hurting. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around with a pain,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But from an exterior side, I got it on. I'm fly. I got a
Yep.
six pack. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that gym. All this ripped
Mm-hmm.
up to shreds. We can play a leading man in a
Mm-hmm.
movie. We ready to be a leading man.
Mm-hmm.
But inside,
It's like you broken. That's I know. That's the truth though. It takes a real man to say I'm broken. Because men don't do that. Especially men that look like you. I don't I mean, that's all I don't know about
well,
the other
I,
folk,
what I
but
say is
mm-mm.
it is growing up in that single parent household, right? But I had the
Mm-hmm.
uncles, you know what I'm saying? So we got, Uncle Rudy, we got Uncle Johnny, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Chester, we got men around.
Right,
They coaching baseball, you know what I'm saying? But that one-on-one with mom is that sensitivity. Is
right.
that I feel perfectly fine crying my eyes out with this lady. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
Yeah, because mom brings that comfort
Come on.
like nobody else can, because you only got
Come
one
on.
mom.
Come on.
Yeah. So there are times you so, and then moms are good with reassuring, with that it's like it's a totally different support system that it can't be replaced but God.
So, I go around collecting people mamas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, you don't.
when I
No,
get
you
around
don't.
somebody mama that give me that feeling of how mom
Uh-huh.
was, they be like, "Yeah, you gotta share moms, bro. You got to share her, bro. I
Yeah.
need that. I need that." Entertainer of the year, Kiki Palmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
We work in the studio for the first time, right? I'm blown away. And she from Chicago. But
Mm-hmm.
who is she in the studio with, Veronica? Her mom.
Oh wow. That's right.
I
Her mom is her manager, right?
What do you mean? Mom is right there. Sweet as
Oh
pie.
wow. Right there
But
with
right there.
her? Shoot.
Sweet as pie. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
not during entertainment. This is years. This is foundational time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
not, this is entertainer of the year is what that equals out to when it's
Mm-hmm.
submerged in that kind of love.
Mm-hmm.
There will never be a time where I can do a studio session with my mom there. There'll never be a time. So
I
God's
see.
love is needed in such a way because that was a moment that I thought about too one time when I was like on one of my meetings, on one of the calls, and I just was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, there's nobody on this call that loves me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like I am a walking bag. As a hit maker, somebody that produces, you're a walking bag. You are the money.
Mm-hmm.
So of course people in the business deal are gonna find ways to make money off of you or for you to pay them. But duh, you the money. But
Mm-hmm.
who is it on my side on this call that loves me, understands that,
Right.
and can say, wait, how does this make sense? How is this a win-win situation?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I had to just start inviting my homies on some of my group chats, man. I mean, some of my business calls and stuff. Look, you just put your phone on mute and listen. Listen
Mm-hmm.
and love me in this business call. Because there's nobody,
He said, "Listen and love me."
man,
Everybody needs somebody to have their back. You do,
man.
especially the entertainment industry. That's why sometimes when you want to step out, like for example, me being new, because I'm not known like you are, and so you coming along, you still got to know who you can work with and who you can't work with. For an example, like who's like really there to mentor and coach you. Like if I want to do like voiceover for commercials or movies, you just can't walk into that. It could look at the competition that's set before me. So
Well, well,
there's a development,
look at
going
this. Look
towards
at
it. Mm-hmm.
as I was realizing I needed to diversify. I started taking acting classes, right? So people
Mm-hmm.
saw me on Star, and if you're in LA next week, Lee Daniels will be at my weekly residency, the $20 holla. And this is the man that put me on TV for the first time. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow. Mm-hmm.
And he didn't just, snap his fingers and put me on TV. I was able to pitch myself without an agent or a manager because I was doing the music for Star and Empire already. They already were in love with my songs,
Mm-hmm.
but I was able to pitch myself directly to Lee Daniels, and I felt confident because I had already been taking an acting class at Tasha Smith School in Sherman Oaks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, whenever you want to make a shift, prepare. And so
Right.
that ideology of how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm a saxophonist. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to practice. Like me getting on stage and playing is a
Mm-hmm.
direct reflection of the work that I've put in. And like I just am not getting to the place where, and I've been playing since fifth grade. I'm just not getting to the place where I can like pick my saxophone up and play it. Like
I saw
before,
you on your Instagram. I said, "What?"
yeah, before these last couple weeks, if I didn't practice like a insane person, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
playing. I'm not playing. because I
Right.
already know. Like, look at my peers. Terrace Martin, Masego, um, Kamasi. You know, these Keon Harrell. These
Mm-hmm.
guys are aliens. Mike Phillips. You know what I mean? Gerald Albright. These
Mm-hmm.
people are. They will make you not want to play no more.
No,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
were playing like Kenny G from back in the day.
Well, that's what my mama used to listen to, man.
That's why, you're young. We would listen to the older ones. You like, who is this? Cause Oprah. I remember Oprah had her talk show then, and Kenny G was up there. I was like, I did not know Kenny G was white. I did not. I used to hear him all the time. As a kid, I had no idea he had
So
some skills.
so let me give you this, right? So of course I used to watch Oprah with my mama, and my mama used to listen to Kenny G. But
Mm-hmm.
when I go to FAMU and I'm playing around the saxophone players, everybody wants to know, why do I play so white? I'm like, what did y'all
I
talk
know
about?
they did.
I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
was the man where I came from. They like, you ain't heard of no Charlie Parker? You don't know about John Coltrane? You don't know about Cannonball Adderley? And they took me somewhere else in the jazz journey, to the
Yes. Yeah.
pioneers, to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even get a cosign, today, if my foundation is in FAMU, if I'm not at a HBCU, you
Mm-hmm.
know, with 400, black 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds all on the football field, and they the main attraction. They
Mm-hmm.
not coming for the football game. They coming for the halftime show.
Exactly. Just like the Super Bowl.
Come
Exactly.
on.
The
Come on.
majority, it's we want to see that it's that halftime show above
But
all, and they know it.
but what's conflicting is my dad was in the 1968 Olympics for Guatemala.
I see.
So from an athletic standpoint, I can't hang with a lot of the athletes. I just ain't all the way coordinated. You know what I'm saying? My
Mm-hmm.
daddy ain't give me that coordination. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
forced to go over to music. But I'm looking at the athletes like, man, I'm 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so there's such a, wonderful intersection between sports and music with me. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I want to know if I know you're becoming they have to get to know you as the new artist. I know you released your song today actually. But are you, if I'm not mistaken, are you working on a upcoming movie? Is it a documentary coming?
Yeah, yes, actually. Oh yeah, of course. It's called the Rewrite Your Life documentary. And we've been kind of just, filming and grabbing footage for like the last 12 years. Um, I started screening it recently, the
Mm-hmm.
trailer, and the feedback has been, that I need more star power.
I
So
see.
I went and met Kevin Hart in Chicago in January,
Mm.
because if that's what I need, is star power, then all I gotta do is just hit, just grab my bat phone.
Mm-hmm.
They try to say your network is your net worth. Oh, okay, so this is how you, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking to continue to build, and get to know more people that are in that space, right? I'm a master of my craft in the music space, but who knows about documentaries? Who knows about, um, the trend? So this is why I put Idris Elba on my single Kings,
Mm-hmm.
so that if people are paying attention, you see me start acting here, you see me start hosting there, but
Mm-hmm.
Idris Elba, your Michael B. Jordans, your Will Smith, your Jamie Foxx, like, let's
Yeah.
go. We
Yeah.
get one life. We get one life, right? Let's go.
Yeah. 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 It would be neat to have the Will Smith
You
added
see what I'm
into that
saying?
as well. Because I was wondering too. I'm like, looking at everything that you have done up until this point, you even need like your own personal reality show, like like that. Keeping up with Kosine. Also,
See, so Lee Daniels will be at the $20 holla next week. Oh wait,
Hmm.
what state are you in?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay, so we got to get you on a plane immediately out to LA for next week so that you could pitch this TV show idea to Lee Daniels.
Uh-oh.
And just as at least a starting place, because
Mm-hmm.
you know the phrase is "write your life," right? And then we
Mm-hmm.
know 2015 we had to rewrite our life, but when you don't have super big time management, super big time agents, you somebody with a great idea, like when you because you full of great ideas.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've been sitting on for
You
so
sitting there,
long.
you know a lot of what you're saying aligns with where I am aspiring to move. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And because I'm so focused in my own bubble, sometimes I don't even dream that big all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't move with the same sense of urgency, even though I really should. You know what I'm saying? Like I got, you know, family, people I want to do business with,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we should take these ideas because it's like, yeah, this is an interview, but for somebody like myself that's an entrepreneur, this is almost like a think tank and a brainstorm session. You know what I'm saying? Like we interviewing, but like I'm sitting there like that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
do
mean, if
that.
you, because I was looking at everything, because a lot of the songs I was listening to and the videos, that was you. And you
That's
see,
me.
the producers are, they need to be more upfront. I know the artist is up front, producers in the back. But I'm like, he did this. I'm like, oh my god, I'm more into, because when they announced that the artist released this song, and you listen to it and that's it, or you watch the video. But it's the folk behind the scenes that make the magic.
Well, I think that's what's so unique about the $20 holla in my live show
Mm-hmm.
because throughout the show, I just play play some of my beats, play some of my songs, play the songs that I produced, and just
Mm-hmm.
let the crowd sing along. It's like karaoke, you know what I'm saying? Like not karaoke, karaoke. Because imagine,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have my show. I played you a little bit of saxophone and serenaded you. Then I did a couple of my original songs. But then I just stop and say, but did you know that I produced this and play coffee? Boom! That's your moment in the show. And
Right.
then imagine what happens when Kelly Rowland come out on stage to perform
Everybody,
coffee.
everybody gonna lose it. They're gonna
Now we
lose it.
get to perform coffee together for the first time ever.
Right.
I got my saxophone, I got my band because I have an incredible band. Mark
Mm-hmm.
Pelly, we call him Moni Moan on the bass, and
Mm-hmm.
Bo on drums. My DJ Rocky Rock. Like my band is ready. If I say, "Hey, we doing Kelly Rowland Coffee," and we
Mm-hmm.
send the music over, guys is learning that in 5 minutes, and we're ready to rehearse in 5 minutos.
Wow.
And so your TV show, Keeping Up with Coast, you know, recording rehearsal, because rehearsal is a vibe.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. The
Rehearsal is
behind
a
the scenes.
vibe.
Yeah. Then they see another side. See, I be coming up with a whole bunch of ideas because not just for R&B, because I'm multi genre. I like different types of genres.
So I need you studying the Latin space next.
Oh,
I need
I
you
do. You
studying.
know what I do? I take what I do when I have my personal music sessions. Out of all the Latino, the music, Selena, Selena Catanina has stayed in my heart.
Selena.
Yeah,
That's one of
that
the movies. That's one of the
right there.
movies that if you don't cry,
Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. No, if you don't say Selena y los Dinos, something wrong. Something wrong with you.
Selena's.
That there
Yo,
would never
man.
be another that whole era, the her music, everything, and it has evolved since then. I understand that, but I'm still personally stuck with her music and the music of that Tejano. I like
Well,
that.
well, that's the beauty. You know what I mean? Because um, and that's why I love like making playlists, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you make yourself Veronica Latino Gourmet Ratchet playlist. You know what I'm saying? You started
I
off with
may
your
use that.
Selena. This a brainstorm. We are. That's what you were talking about. What you need to say to my publicist. You know what you need to say to my publicist. I
Hmm.
need to be on cosign team. Like I feel like there's a synergy there. I got great
I
ideas.
know. It's like, wait a minute,
That's what you
Jesus,
should be
what's
telling my
happening?
team. How do we keep this? How do we keep this going? You know what I'm
Yeah. Oh, I
saying?
would love to contribute. Oh, I mean, because I have. I mean, I told God months ago. I said, God, I'm like, when you said that there was a burning in your heart, like, where's my voice? It's like that's how I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else. God, I suppose that. Wait a minute, like I'm doing this, or you work like you're working your 9 to 5 traditional. You have to. You got to pay your bills. But then it's like I'm supposed to be doing something else. And that's when I said, "Oh, I gotta step out. I have to start doing something because
Yeah,
this,
like
this is yeah, yeah."
at the hip hop awards, man. That phrase, man. The South got something to say. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how I felt about myself. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, man, cosign guys. I'm in here producing these songs. 'Cause I remember, I
Mm-hmm.
remember, I remember one time I was in this session. Doesn't matter the artist. Oh God. But I did the music. Then I went in the booth to lay the hook. Then when I came out of the booth, everybody was looking at me crazy. And I took offense to that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, y'all want me to shut up and dribble, just put my head down and just make all these beats and never say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah,
but if
no.
I think about my first gold record, Move If You Wanna, that's me produced by the track and my actual voice on the song. I wrote the
Right.
hook and
Mm-hmm.
performed the hook, you know? And even back then, I didn't even know about the royalties that come along with performance on a major release of a track.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
all
you didn't
those,
even care about that. You just want the flow.
yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even thinking about that. But that's an issue with artists. We need to be thinking about all of the different ways you can get paid from the stuff that you're doing. That way you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to make that comment of I have to work a 9 to 5 to pay my bills because your passion is your profit.
Exactly. Right.
You
Right.
know
You
what I'm
just gotta
saying? And that
get on that path. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and look, that little vocal money, right, might not be as big as the master, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that vocal money might pay for the cell phone bill for the year.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's
It's
all
gonna
kind of little
pay for
bills that we
something.
got
Right. Mm-hmm.
that need to get paid for. So,
Right.
for the artists that are coming into the game, you know, and now we got AI that teaches us everything so fast. Really do a deep dive and understand all of the ways to make money making music, whether that's producing,
Mm-hmm.
songwriting, engineering, being the artist, vocal production,
Mm-hmm.
mixing, mastering, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all these different elements. What are all of the elements,
Right.
you know, in this process? Because that little money turn into big money, man.
Yeah. Just take small, take little steps towards it. Like you did. Because I know I heard about your background, how you got started. And I like how your mindset, you was on your social media, I was all in your stories. And you said it's beast season. I remember
Oh,
you was
beefcake.
saying, is it beef season or beefcake?
It's beefcake season. Oh yeah.
Beefcake. Okay, because I know I heard you was with some more people, and I heard somebody say beast, and they were like, yes, sir. They were like,
Yeah.
they was agreeing with you. And then I
Beefcake.
was looking at how you have a whole strategy for this year. Like you're not coming into this year to play. You come in here like you got business, you got things to do. You have a goal. And that's how, like, for artists, whether you're new or you've been in the game, you have to maintain that in order to be successful out here.
Absolutely. I mean, my call earlier this morning, before I'm talking to you, is with
Mm-hmm.
Ludacris. Ludacris.
Oh
Now,
wow.
you talking about one of the greatest of all time. These are my friends. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't think that what these people are doing and have been doing is starting to rub off on me, you people are crazy. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like, if you
Absolutely.
don't
Yeah.
think This is the time to give Kosine as much support and resources as possible so that he can do purposeful work. You're out of your mind. You have fallen for the delusion and you're
Right.
gonna miss. You're gonna miss
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the confidence that helped me to like really continue to push forward was just like thinking about how many people I made money. You know what I mean? If
Mm-hmm.
I go in the studio and make a song by myself, who get paid? The business manager get paid, the lawyer get paid, the
Mm-hmm.
publisher get paid. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can just go down a list of all the
Right.
people that get paid for me doing something by myself. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, all right, how do we position this to where when people doing other stuff, how do I turn my money into employees? And that's
Right.
where the financial literacy has just been um so eye-opening, you know, that financial literacy, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Especially in with the economic time that we live in right now.
oh, you got to be
Especially.
on it. You got to be on it. I know people that were models,
Mm-hmm.
right? That are now trading. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it ain't time to sit up and take pictures all day no more. They on their social media trading. You know what I'm saying? They is
Lord.
full financial experts right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Wow.
called survival.
Yeah.
Time to survive.
Yeah. You really gotta be creative out
Time to
here.
survive.
You really do. But I have enjoyed talking to you. Like I'm like, this supposed to be you're right. It's supposed to be an interview, but this I'm gonna still use it. But it feels like
Yeah.
Veronica meets Cosine, Cosine meets Veronica face to
Yeah,
face.
nah,
Like
this
what?
you are a breath of fresh air. You are a breath of fresh air. This is a beautiful conversation,
Hmm.
and I hope we find ways to continue this flow and continue this energy.
Oh yeah, I gotta reach out to like your publicist, and then like I'm gonna take you on that.